You're a cursed scoundrel, or worse, you're the beast. The town is ruined, the fog is thick, and the only thing heavier than your steps is your guilt. You've made a pact, there's cargo to steal, rituals to perform, and there's only one true escape path. And yet, the moment you think you're working together, the betrayal begins. Welcome to Hollow Pact. It's a wonderful player cooperative game from Studio Midhall. Now this game is in a dark and gritty universe. It's in the Beast universe. And if you remember the game Beast, well, that was a one versus many game where you're going to be playing as hunters trying to track down this beast. Well, things have gone full circle in Hollow Pact, and now it's the Beast's turn to go hunting for the scoundrels. Now this, I said, was cooperative. Let's think of it as more of a semi-cooperative game. While these scoundrels are going to be working together trying to avoid the beast and trying to get the cargo to the end, well, they've got their own secret agendas. And maybe, just maybe, they might even be working on the same side as the beast. When I talk about this game and talk about reviewing this game, I need to be upfront and say that this is just a work in progress. This is only going to be a small portion of what that final game is going to look like. But geez, you have enough here to go off to fully understand what the designers, and when I talk about designers, actually a lot of designers in this, what they're actually going through to try and turn this into something pretty damn special. Welcome to the basics of Hollow Pact, and the first thing you'll need to play is a pact, and we have one right here, which is a 3-player version called Knives in the Dark. Now, each one of these packs will have its own way to play the game and its own win conditions. The Scoundrels will have their own win condition, the Beast will have their own win conditions, and there's also something here called a Dark Pact. This is where the Scoundrel might actually be working with the Beast and not actually against the Beast. This is going to be all hidden information. It's going to just add so much more intrigue to every game. Now, the other thing that's hidden information is in Knives in the Dark, we have some cargo. We have a real cargo there and we have a fake cargo. But the problem is at the start of the game, we don't know which scoundrel has which, nor does the beast know. But over the course of the game, some of the cards will help us understand, but also some of the cards will help us swap the cargo over between players. Again, adding more and more intrigue. Now, what have we got here? We've got 4 different rows. Now, these different rows have different ways to play as we go up with these schematic cards. Now, these schematic cards are going to be random each game. And what's going to happen at the start of the game, I'm just going to have one tile flipped over. And then from there, I'm going to start exploring, and then these tiles will be flipped over, and then we're going to need a way to be able to open up these gates. So for the lost keys, just as the title says, we're going to need to collect some keys and put them in the same spot to be able to open up the gate. Excellent. We've now done that. The beast hasn't got us yet, and we've opened up a gate. So we're going to flip over this tile, and then we're also going to flip over the next schematic. And again, it's going to have a different way of playing. Now we've got the explosion. And what we've got here is we've got a cart. We're going to have a cart full of explosives, and we're going to be trying to blow up the next gate. Then we're going to get to the outskirts. I'm going to turn over the outskirts schematics. And as you can see, different ways to be able to get up there. Now, while we're doing all that, the beast is slowly moving around, trying to get us, trying to kill us, and trying to get that correct cargo back to him. Maybe it's like an egg or something, who knows what it is, but the beast obviously wants it. And what the beast wants, the beast gets. Okay, that is Knives in the Dark, the basics. But how does the player turns work? Well, the way it's going to work is the player's going to have all of their actions that they can do before it goes to the next player, then to the beast. And it's just going to keep going round and round until either the scoundrels have escaped up the top there, or the beast has obviously killed them. Okay, on your player board here, there's a couple of things you need to be aware of. Firstly, there's different resources to be able to spend to take actions, and there's lots of different actions in this game. We have stamina down the bottom, and we can spend stamina to do actions on our player board, actions on our deed cards. Now these deed cards are pretty cool because they've got different ones. For the white ones are going to be for the scoundrels, and the black ones are going to be for the beast. So deed cards are actually shared amongst both the beast and the scoundrel. And then the third way we can spend stamina is landmarks. And again, each schematic will have its own landmarks, which then has another way to spend stamina to get another action. So many different actions. We also have remnants that the scoundrels will be trying to collect. This is like equipment to help give us a bonus. And also the beast here is going to have some curses. It's going to be hopefully throwing some curses downrange and trying to affect the scoundrels. So a lot going on there. So we're going to spend our stamina, but we've also got here spirit. We're going to be collecting spirit over the course of the game, and some of these spirit will let us also take actions. But most importantly, spirit's going to be used over here in what this mini game I like to think is just called rituals. The old rituals mini game. Now we're going to be able to spend these at the end of our turn to be able to win different rituals. Now, right now, I've got here, Askell has the most on these two rituals. If it gets all the way back around to Askell again, and Askell's still winning in these rituals, Askell can choose to cash it in and be able to get the action on those rituals. So another way to get more and more actions. Again, these rituals are going to have white for scoundrels, black for the beast. And the beast also gets upgrades as well, which makes it even cooler. So look, a lot going on there, but there's a couple of ways now that players can die. So they're not going to always get it that easy. The beast is going to be tracking them down, casting wounds, and if they get 4 wounds, then they're going to die. But they've also got here stress tokens. You're going to collect stress tokens over the course of the game. And if you get enough stress tokens to make you from sane to insane, you flip over your board, and then all of a sudden now you've got another way that you can die. You can die again by health, but now you can also die by stress. Now if you get 8 or more stress, you're going to die. But the thing about it, insane, is you get even more powerful actions. So look, so much to love about this game. Let's go check out what are my thoughts on Hollow Pact. You know those other peasant games with just a single designer? Well, that was so yesterday. The new age kids, they like to get together with their friends and design a game together. And that's what Studio Midhall has done. I can't remember how many designers were, like 6 designers or something. Crazy amount of people getting together to put all their different inputs into design in this game. I love that. Now, I've got to be careful. I only have one portion of the game, the 3-player version. I can't tell you how the solo is going to be. I can't tell you how the 2-player is going to be. And I can't tell you how the 4-player is going to be. But if I can extrapolate from what I have now to what I hope the end product is going to be, I've got a lot of faith that that end product is something that I would throw my money behind. Now, again, let's just chat about just the mode I have right here. Now, this is the old turn structure. I've been told that there's a new dynamic turn structure being designed and being tested right now. And it's going to make the game even quicker, and it's supposedly just going to streamline the game. But I didn't even think the game needed it. This old school turn structure right here was just such a fun way to play it. So I'm intrigued. I'm almost scared, but again, I have faith that these designers know exactly what they're doing. Now let's discuss the theme and the story. This theme, this beast universe, it's incredible how vivid and my imagination is running wild as we're playing this game. You do feel that thematic elements coming through. All of those curses and those deeds and those remnants, every part of your play makes you feel more as one in this universe. The theme is dripping, but the one thing I reckon could have taken it to the next level was story. I want to know more about this beast universe. When we have the beast versus Hollow Pact, are we in different generations? Are we in the same generation? I want to know more about these monsters. I want to know more about my backstory as these scoundrels. Now, there's a little bit in the rulebook there, but again, that's something for me that I just love to absorb, and I would have loved even more, even a little mini book just to make me feel in love with this world. The Witcher universe is one of the most incredible and vast universes, and I love those books, and every time I read, I think I'm taking those footsteps in that world. That's how I want to feel in this game. Now, it is as thematic as a game's going to be, but just a little bit more story would have been just the piece de resistance for me. Mistrust is such a powerful emotion. if I'm staring over the table and I can't trust the decisions that that person's playing, I don't know if their agenda is actually on my side or if they've got their own selfish agenda, it adds and makes the game so powerful. And that's what Hollow Pact's all about. This hidden information is that perfect source in this design. Now, at the start of the game, you're going to get your own hidden agendas. Now, these agendas could be working with the other player, or maybe it's not. And again, over the course of the game, you might even get those curses where now all of a sudden you're now working with the beast. And again, all that information's hidden. It just makes this game such a brilliant game. And that's why I fell in love. I love not knowing things, but thinking I'm knowing things. Does that make sense? As the scoundrel, the main thing you're trying to do is create distance. Distance is your friend. Distance between you and the other scoundrel. Distance between you and the beast. If the scoundrels are together, well, the beast is going for a V-line straight towards you two. If you're separated, well, the beast has decisions to make. Now, those wounds, there's only 4 wounds there, and that's going to be the main way you're going to die, because if that beast gets on top of you, those attacks can rack up real quickly. Now, for the beast, you don't have enough movement. You'll never be able to outrun them and catch up. So you've got to think about those schematics. What is the main goal that those scoundrels are trying to achieve on each row? Once you know that, then you can start pre-planning yourself to try and meet them in a certain area there. Curses are going to be your best friend. Curses you can spread far and wide, and they're going to really slow down those scoundrel scum. So that's really the 2 main things. Beasts, use your curses. Scoundrels, use your movement, use your distance. And finally, the last thing I want to talk about is replayability. This is where the value is going to be in this game. And again, we don't have the final version, but if we get enough schematics, enough different packs, and some more beasts and some more scoundrels, some player boards there is so much replayability. It's just not funny. And the fact that these are randomized means every game is going to be different. And for me, to have that replayability in a box is going to be pretty special. And I think, again, that's going to be another selling point for this game. Every game is going to be so different and so unique. I think that's pretty much it. Like, if you have this game and, again, you're into solo and you're into, various player counts, then I just think there's going to be some serious value. But look, I'm not talking about the Kickstarter because I'm doing this video after the Kickstarter. So I'm really talking now about retail and where's that value going to be in the retail in the future. And obviously if you can get your hands on the Kickstarter, but we need more of those things, more packs, more schematics, more beasts, all of that stuff. And then the value is 100% there in this game. So there we go. The old review on a game that's not even complete yet. Well, that's new for me, so that's a bit different. But in a world where you've probably seen a lot of previews on this game, I guess it's good to give you my insights. Cooperative games are my thing. Scary thriller type games aren't my thing. Dark, gritty worlds aren't my thing. The fact that all of this should have been a game that wasn't for me, well, that means it's pretty special. And I really did enjoy it. And the fact that my partner enjoyed it as well, which I wasn't expecting. So there was a lot of surprises that came from this experience. Now, I always talk about the vibes. The vibes are what matters. Like, I can talk about design and art and replayability, but it's the vibes. It's that experience. When you walk away from the game, how do you feel? Well, I walked away buzzing. You know that experience. You walk away buzzing, you're thinking about it, you're thinking about your moves, you're thinking about it next time you're going to play it. So there we go. That's my thoughts on Hollow Pact. There we go. Whew. Hollow Pact. Anyway, that's all I've got. I'm Hogs. This is the Bangers Project. Till next time, laters.